6:30 p.m. we'll call this meeting of the Pickens County Board of Elections and Registration to order. We will start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Luke and Mr. Levi, would you lead us in the pledge? Or Miss Abby, either one. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from the February 1st meeting. These were distributed via email prior to the meeting.
Motion we accept the minutes.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes from the February the 1st meeting. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Down hands, any opposed? Motion carries. Next item is the approval of agenda. I believe everybody has a copy of the agenda.
Make a motion we approve the agenda as written.
Second.
We have a move and a second to approve the agenda as presented. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Down hands, any opposed? Motion carries. We have no old business, and that brings us to new business. The first item under new business is board member 1099. So there was apparently some sort of misunderstanding with the finance department with the county, and everybody on the board should have a new copy of their 1099 in front of them. The next item on the agenda is the consent order. Well, before we do that, is there any discussion on 1099s?
Can you explain that so I can put it in the minutes? There was a new 1099 issued?
Yeah, so there was a 1099 NEC form that was made available by the IRS this year, and that option was selected by the county finance department for some reason. I don't know, but they have reissued 1099 MISCs.
Okay.
Is there any further discussion?
No, I'm good.
A little late.
I'm good with the new 1099.
All right.
Even though I filed the old 1099.
So the next item on the agenda is a consent order. This was emailed to Mr. Landrum and myself, and it dates back to the 2020 election when Ms. Julianne Roberts was the election supervisor. Basically, it accuses the Pickens County Board of Elections and Registration with having polling precincts that were not ADA compliant. There was some cords laying across the ground and some tables that were not arranged correctly. Mr. Landrum has negotiated this to the point that I'm comfortable with it, so I will turn this over to the board for their discussion. Does anybody have questions?
There's really not much we can do, but I mean, it's the best resolution I guess we can have, right?
It's my understanding.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, we've already established another
Yeah.
polling place,
Right.
so I think
Yeah.
We have remedied we had already remedied every complaint in here before we ever received the documents.
Right.
We need a motion to approve this consent order.
Motion to approve.
second.
All right, we have a move and a second to approve this consent order and authorize me to sign it. Is there any discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Down hands, any opposed? The motion carries.
Do you have to sign it before you
I'm signing it right now.
resign? Before you resign?
It is autographed. Okay, the next item under new business is the board chair resignation. And I have really been dreading this, but effective today, I'm officially resigning my position as chairman of this board. I want everyone here to know that this was not the result of any action of a member of this board, our staff, or anyone other than myself. The decision was not one that I came to lightly or even quickly. The truth is, I'm incredibly proud of the work that we've accomplished in this time. When I think back to July the 1st of 2021, when Judge Lindsay swore us all in, I think you guys will all agree that we were a little naive as to what we were getting into. I mean, when you think about it, we had 2 Republicans, 2 Democrats, a nonpartisan chairman, an empty and very outdated office. And to compound that urgency further, municipal elections were just a few months away. But the individuals on this board were able to put aside their personal beliefs. They focused on the greater good of providing fair and transparent elections for the voters of Pickens County. And this may sound like a tall task, but you guys took that challenge with passion and eagerness. And each one of you provided valuable input, guidance, and direction. as we navigated this uncharted path that was put before us. Later, our team expanded. We got Stacy, Rhonda, Kay, and Kathy. And at that point, this office hit our stride. The staff has taken our empty office and turned it into a well-oiled machine that operates with confidence and efficiency. Now, with the knowledge that they will be transitioning to a new location to better serve the voters of Pickens County, I have seen every goal that I had personally for this team come to fruition. I can leave with the confidence that this team will carry on the work that we began. The simple truth is I feel led to go another direction. In life we all have dreams and aspirations that we work to achieve, but then ever so often there's opportunities that come along or present themselves that we didn't search out. My fear is if I don't search this one out, I'll always regret it. That being said, I will always treasure the friendships I've made here over the last 7 months. But it's time for me to move on and pursue another venue. But to the members of this board, I'll leave you with this. I implore you to carry on. Carry on with the same fervency and zeal that you've displayed over the last 7 months. When my successor is named, and I expect that to happen this week, I ask you to afford him the same courtesy and respect that you afforded me. This board is a difficult one to be a member of. Everywhere you look, somebody's telling you how to do your job, offering suggestions or ideas for how to make something better, or complaints. But at the end of the day, you've got to put aside even your own personal beliefs and focus on what is right and fair. And even though this board is comprised of members from both political parties, you all know that we're ultimately guided by the law and that this is not the place for partisan agendas. So I applaud you for the work that you've done today. At the end of this meeting, as a resident of Pickens County, I ask that you maintain that course and keep up the good fight. And with that, I'll say Godspeed, my love to you all, and from the very bottom of my heart, thank you all for your support. And that brings us...
I wish that the new commissioner or the new chairman could have been here to take over for you right now.
Handed the gavel.
Exactly.
So that brings us to staff comments. Ms. Stacy.
All right. We have completed redistricting with this, or I said we have submitted our redistricting to the state. We are waiting for confirmation from them to let us know, how to go forward and if anything needs to be corrected and resubmitted. Qualifying begins next week, March the 7th through the 11th. We've emailed both parties and offered our office as a place for them to be able to register anybody that wants to run. So we'll have them in our office as well as our employees next week. We have the special election for East End Commissioner. We have the election for Commissioner of the West End, School Board Post 2, School Board Post 3, and School Board Post 5 that we'll be holding qualifying for. We've ran the ads in the paper off and on since January. And I think you all know that the commissioners voted at their last meeting to approve our new office. I found out renovations should start in March, so hopefully after the primary, we'll be able to move in maybe July or August. Jarvis, we've been working on training with the new program. It's not yet finalized. They're still working out some kinks. They're hoping to be able to get it going live as of March the 14th is the goal for that. We received a check from the city of Jasper for the reimbursement for postage, where we sent out the precinct cards from the address changing from Dixie Street to GG Level. That was around $914. We got that in on Monday, so that's been turned into finance. We're planning on visiting all 12 precincts, hopefully this month and next month, to check out the locations, make sure that there's nothing that needs to be done before the primary in May, and just kind of evaluating each precinct because we haven't been out to look at them and see what they all look like. Poll worker applications are still coming in. We have early voting covered, I believe, for the 3 weeks. but we still need just a couple more for Election Day. But I just want to thank you because I know y'all been putting the word out. I know Larry has been talking to a lot of people. I've had several people come in that said that they've talked to you. So we just need a couple more and we should, have plenty. Conference packets are in your folders. I put the packet for it and the information for the hotel. If you have any questions about that, let me know. I'll be sending out more information. The conference is the 20th through the 23rd of March. There is a 3 o'clock class on that Sunday that I encourage everyone to attend. It's a new class for new board members and election staff. I think it'll be very beneficial to us to go to that. One of the things that I would like feedback on from the board is there's been an issue with the Big Canoe voters. I've been talking to Dawson County, and because in Big Canoe the boxes are located on the Pickens County side, the address is technically Jasper, but Dawson County has always let them put Big Canoe. Big Canoe is not a geographical location. So therefore, Dawson and I have been going back and forth talking to each other about how to handle that. I've contacted the Secretary of State. Dawson wants to do a unified decision on how to handle that. I've talked to Phil Landrum about it, and he says that the boards need to talk to each other and do a joint resolution with each other. So we need to contact Dawson County's board and our board get together and make a decision on how to handle that. So we might need to put that on the agenda for next month.
You mean as to whether we allow them to say Big Canoe or Jasper? Because it comes out both ways.
It does, but
Or if we're gonna stick with one.
as far as DDS, if you go and you register with DDS, if they try to put Big Canoe, it automatically changes it to Jasper. But if someone mails in a registration, they can put Big Canoe. So in order to try, to do it unified all the way around, we just need to decide, how we're going to handle that moving forward and get with Dawson so we're all on the same page. But other than that, I just want to tell Josh thank you and that we appreciate everything that you have done for the Board of Elections and for our office over the last 8 months, and it has been a privilege to work with you.
It's a hard thing to walk away from.
Do we have on the, for the Big Canoe, is there a consensus to some degree on what from you guys feel like is the right thing? We just need to talk about it, or is it to talk about to figure out what that consensus is?
I think that we need to talk about it. I've reached out to the postmaster, asking his opinion. He doesn't mind if, as far as mail is concerned, if they list Big Canoe or if they list Jasper. It's just Dawson really wants to get on the same page and us do the same thing, even though the subdivision is split between the two counties. They don't want their side saying one thing to residents and our side saying another whenever the mailboxes are on the Pickens side. When I spoke with the postmaster, he said eventually they're going to have to build a bigger mailing room, and once that is said and done, he said then they'll be able to put the mailing addresses and the physical addresses, the box number and the physical addresses in the system, and it'll help a lot more. But he said that's 2 to 3 years out. But he said as far as listing Big Canoe or Jasper, he's perfectly fine with them doing either one. It's really what we decide to go with, and Dawson said that they'll follow suit, but we just need to get together with them on the
Because
same
I have to
page.
imagine they've had the same type of issues, right?
Yeah, they have. And in the past, I think the elections office before we came in, they turned down applications that said Big Canoe. I think it was stressed by the Secretary of State that everything needed to match perfectly, and if something didn't match, then you turn it down. And I think that's the way that it was done, and they just wouldn't accept any application that said Big Canoe on it. When I talked to the Secretary of State, they said they were okay if we received something in the mail that said Big Canoe, since we know Big Canoe is Jasper, that we could mark through it and initial it and date it and change it to Jasper. And then that's when I got back with Dawson County and we started talking about how to handle it. And it's more of a policy issue, so it's between the boards instead of the supervisors.
The thing is, when I was doing that article for the smoke signals, I went out there and queried. So there are two, if you query 30143, it says Jasper is the primary and Big Canoe is the alternate. And for me, living in Big Canoe, sometimes I just fill out an address and it flips it. I put the Jasper and won't take it, and it flips it to Big Canoe. So that's why people are so confused.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's very
The people who live
confusing.
in Dawson County have Jasper addresses.
Yeah.
They're boxed
They're
because
mailing
everything in Big Canoe gets sent to the box, so it's box 305 Big Canoe, and then it's Jasper, Georgia, but a lot of residents put Big Canoe, Georgia, and that's where, there's confusion.
So, but it's a Jasper zip code.
It's 30143 is the zip
So
code.
that's going to be real difficult for the Postal Service to differentiate between Dawson and Pickens County.
Yeah. Well, and that's why they flips to Big Canoe, so that was probably the compromise, so.
So how does Dawson County handle it when the people who live in Dawson County want to vote?
Or register in.
Well, currently, if someone comes over from DDS, we get all of them, is what it looks to me like.
Right, 'cause
And then I
they
have
can
to
deal with
figure
zip
out,
code.
referencing our system, and then I can transfer them to Dawson.
They get some of ours sometimes, and we get some of theirs, and if it happens to where we get it and we pull it up on Q Public and see, hey, that address isn't listed in Pickens County, then that's when we transfer and they do the same.
Sounds like I'm leaving our new chairman in a firestorm.
He's got to get his wings sooner or later.
Yeah.
So with then as far as the meetup, would they come here? Would we go, like how, we have to figure that
I
out?
don't think a meetup is the way to handle that. I think you need to have a few people on the email, because you've got sunshine laws and 2 boards affected.
Right.
And
I haven't mentioned that to them. I just told Glenda with
Right.
Dawson County I would get back with her. I spoke with Phil yesterday, and then Phil said that was really a policy issue and it would be between boards and not between election offices. So we can move forward however we need to. If we just need to contact them by email, that way there's a paper trail going back and forth, we can do that. I can reach out to Glenda and get the chair's email. We can start up conversation and decide how we want to work it out.
that's what I would do.
Yeah,
Not that.
document.
I didn't know.
Document.
Final thing go ahead.
But Phil did say that a resolution would be the best strategy for it, because then that way it would be documented in minutes.
Right, good. Final thing, were there many changes that you guys had with redistricting that you had?
We just had to change, local lines didn't change at all.
Right.
It was just on the state level, so, it was the congressional and the House, I believe. I don't have that information in front of
Okay.
me. But it was just, those 2 changes were the only thing that was made.
Okay.
Anything else?
Not on our end.
All right. Public comments, Miss Mary? Do you have anything? Miss Abby? Mr. Luke and Levi? No? Okay. Board comments.
They're so cute.
We'll start with Mr. Larry down there.
Nothing.
Miss Becky?
Nothing.
Hate to see you go. Thanks for getting us off on the right foot. Great
Don't let-
leadership.
Don't
I
let the door hit
appreciate
you on the
it.
way out.
No, I wouldn't. No, my heart dropped when I got it.
So when will we know what you're going to do?
Real soon, real soon.
Yeah. I hate to see you go too, but it's been great working with you. Great getting to know you, and we appreciate all the help and the guidance, and just want to say good time, but it's not really a good time, but it was, most of the time it was good.
Sometimes it's good to go through a trial by fire.
Yeah, education.
But I've got nothing to add other than thank you guys, all of you. It's been an incredible experience, and
We made you look good, didn't we?
it takes a lot of work to make me look good. I'll be the first one to say. But
I'm kidding.
at this time, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Moving a second to adjourn. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Down hands? Any opposed? Motion carries. We are adjourned at 6:50 PM.